Hi, everybody. Oh, welcome to, another one of these. I'm Mr. Randy, but, well, I should have introduced him first. You know him as the Big Mac of Love. It is Mac Engel. Let's do a cowboy thing. Ooh, that was a hurtful, I'll use hurtful, Mac, type defeat up in Detroit, and now the Cowboys are, well,
we have 8 games left.
Halfway through the season.
2 games up in the division.
4-4. Yeah, right on the way to 8-8.
Another 8-8 championship.
Just like we thought. But let's go. That loss is something we can
try to look forward, Randy.
Move around with in a lot of different ways. Let's talk about Dez Bryant, because Dez Bryant created national news. You wrote a fine column.
Thank you very much.
Both of us were in Detroit, of course. Thank you very much to McClatchy. Boy, I ran it up on the expense account. If you can.
Caviar.
Run it up. However, we were both there, and you had a fine column in Monday's paper just concentrating on the Dez scene. Dez created a national firestorm.
Yes.
With all his antics. When I look at Dez Bryant and the 2 big scenes that TV really picked up on, and rightfully so, TV was merely doing its job. One of them involving Romo and Garrett and everything during the game was, I can kind of let that slide. It annoys everybody
now, Randy,
to see it.
If you heard the audio and read the transcript of the audio, it backed what Dez said, which was, this was not some negative "you stink" rant.
But you know what? It doesn't make any difference. It annoys everybody. It's body language.
I agree.
It's perception.
I agree.
And see, the perception is some fool is over there being El Dorado Owens.
Okay. Well, you were there for the Michael Irvin days.
Yes.
I was. You and I were both here for the
Nothing
TO
like
days.
Michael. Michael was.
Why? Now I need you to educate me, sir. Why what Dez was doing on Sunday was any different than some of the things that we saw Michael Irvin do during the 90s?
Michael Irvin would never go to Troy Aikman. He would never be in Troy's face like that. Michael Irvin handled Herbert Alexander, the great Axe, former wide receivers coach, and that's who he went to venting. You think Michael Irvin would have done that to Jimmy Johnson? There is no way. And he wouldn't do that to Troy. But he's over there venting to some fellow receivers, plus Mr. Alexander, one of my favorite people who's now deceased, was the wide receivers coach. But the end of the game, Mac, there's another scene. There's no excuse for that scene. Now you can't even.
That was pouting. I'm angry.
We lost. We're blowing it.
Yep.
The whole works. But here's the thing with Dez.
The problem with that play was he had quit on the game before the game had ended, and that's what Jason Witten was so mad about.
Yeah.
They still had no, it was a prayer, but his point was, you better be here with us. We need you on this next play. And that's what he was mad about. Everybody forgets the fact that 2 minutes prior to that, or 5 minutes prior to that, Jason Witten came off hollering mad, screaming and kicking, and nobody said a word about that.
Well,
so there is a double standard. We know that.
It's different. No, it's not. I mean, it is a different thing with Witten, the way he is screaming, and that scene in front of Romo. And by the way, it's all perception. It's all body language.
Randy,
it's it's a national and local, certainly a local thing, because a lot of people are pissed off at Dez, fan-wise and everything else.
I like Dez, and I tell you this right now, and you may not believe me, this is a good teammate. I covered Terrell Owens. Terrell Owens is one of the worst teammates I ever covered. Dez Bryant is not Calvin Johnson, will never be Calvin Johnson. He's a good teammate. The problem is he's a hothead, and we don't like our superstars to be hotheads unless they're winning.
But you know what? Here, I was going to put the bottom line on this. Dez has got to get open more than 5 attempts, or was it 6? Whatever it was. Okay.
And with 3, they
targeted 6 times.
Yeah. Well, at some point, some of that's on the quarterback too.
Well, wait a minute. Does Tony Romo not want to throw to Dez Bryant?
No, he does. He wants to throw to the open guy. And if Tony Romo's first read is Terrence Williams or Jason Witten or whoever on that side of the field or whatever else, and he's got 2 guys on Dez, at some point, you and I both know Michael Irvin, Calvin Johnson, Larry Fitzgerald, A.J. Green, you just got to get it his way and trust that he can go get it.
If Dez Bryant is in any form of open, even if it's a jump ball, then I think Romo wants to get him the ball. A lot of this comes down to what we saw Sunday, and yes, some of it's been overblown, without a doubt. But that's on Dez too. That's body language and perception. The main thing is Dez. Go out there and work harder on your routes. Run your routes more than you run your mouth. And I think the ball is going to come to Romo. The week before the ball went, the ball is going to come to Dez. The week before the ball came to Dez 16 times in that game. But I don't understand against that secondary how Dez didn't. I don't think he was going to go.
Well, in fairness to that, Romo didn't have any time. He had time against the Eagles. He didn't have any time against the Lions.
And bottom line,
you're a general manager. Do you want Dez Bryant on your football team?
Absolutely.
I agree.
Oh, I want him on my team. And, we can get into this later. Let's see how it's going. Romo isn't playing well right now.
You noticed that.
Let's throw that out there, too. We're back next week with more of this expert commentary.